Before leaving Tokyo for Fukushima, I did an early morning walk around Tachiaigawa. I wanted to get some shots of trains for my energy lecture, and also just want to see some stuff around the town. I went back to the shrine and actually used it as a shrine. Also, someone got their picture of me because I was wearing a Kirby hoodie. Bye, Tachiaigawa. Because there was like 2.5 hours between when I had to take the train and when I had to check out, I decided to stop at McDonald's because I know you can sit there and stay for a while. Also wanted to try this burger with an egg on it. It was pretty good. I actually really like the sauce. Also, there was this like matcha mochi pie, and it was pretty delicious. This was the train I took to Fukushima. It's not a bullet train, but it's a limited express, so it's nicer and a bit faster than most trains. Also had this cool door that I didn't get a full shot of it opening. It was really cool seeing Tokyo just kind of fly by the window of this train. I really love the shot of like the train whizzing by. I also really love how quickly it goes from Tokyo to the countryside. Kind of like night and day. The countryside is really cool. You get to see some of these like real cool houses as you fly by, but a lot of it is like this. This is actually after crossing into Fukushima, and it's a lot of, fields, a lot of farmland. Also, I got this shot of Fukushima Daiichi. This was the Fukushima plant that didn't melt down, just down the way. You also see these power lines leading to power plants that are no longer in use. This is Minamisoma, where I'm staying, only a little bit away from Fukushima. It was really cool. I also did not know it was like a 45-minute walk from the station to where I was staying, so this was a long walk. But you got to see this pretty cool tower. There's like a TV antenna tower kind of right in the middle of town. This is the next morning, once again out early, not only to see the cherry blossoms there in the background, but to shoot stuff for my lecture. This is the last day before I got to get it up. I found this really cool park with this giant torii gate in front of it. The park was done up in like a festival kind of way. I don't know if they're expecting a festival or one just happened. This park was also pretty populated for, the time of the morning. And you got these really cool view of like the towns and the mountains in the background. And one cool thing about this is that there's tons of cherry blossoms in bloom. Like those very limited cherry blossoms in bloom in like the Tokyo area. But here it seems like every tree was already rare and ready to go. Even though it was like pretty cold, I like this close-up shot. It turned out better than I thought it did. But most of today was spent going to see the sites around the Fukushima disaster. All around town they have these signs, shows how high the tsunami water was. Looking out onto the fields that were like covered by the tsunami, it's kind of haunting. First stop of the day was Ukido Elementary School. This is one of the more famous Fukushima sites for a couple of reasons. First, there was a group of kids and staff that made a harrowing escape to the mountains that were about like 1.5 kilometers away as the tsunami came rushing through. Here you can see the tsunami damage, and these are the first two first-year classrooms. You can also see like how high the tsunami got within the school. It's also famous because it's like one of the only structures that remained standing during the tsunami. You can also see some of the construction here. There's a lot of construction happening all over the Fukushima area, and I'll get to that a little bit later. Next, we moved down to the Great Tohoku Earthquake and Disaster Museum. It's pretty English friendly. They had you watch this video that was available in English prior to going through the museum. A lot of English signage, and there's an English interactive guidebook that they give you to go through the museum. Here's a map of the area, including showing the evacuation radius and where they were stayed. Here's a diagram of the plant. There was a lot of cool things in here, like audiovisual stuff that I couldn't get video of because I didn't let you. But it was a very modern museum. Here's a mannequin wearing the nuclear hazmat suit. They also had giant bags, not actual bags of dirt, but demo bags of dirt filled. That gave me a bit of an existential crisis. Here's a robot that was built in Minamisoma. And here's the view from the top deck where you can see the ocean when it's not out of focus. But after this, we went to get lunch next door. This is at the Futaba Business Incubation Office, and there are some restaurants in the ground floor. Most of the Japanese-style restaurants were had long waits, so we ended up getting a burger. There's also this Chansey Park lid in the courtyard between them. Chansey's the official Pokemon of Fukushima. Chansey's Japanese name Fuku is the start of Fukushima, so there's Chansey all over the prefecture. And there it is in the background. Those cranes in the background are what are working currently on Fukushima Daiichi. The plan is for it to still be under decommission until 2045, but there it is. Next we move down to Old Town Okuma. Okuma was a town that was completely evacuated and is still abandoned for the most part, just outside of Fukushima Daiichi. And it is very eerie because you see all these empty abandoned houses, but there's also like a ton of people like working, doing construction, doing cleanup in the area. So it's oddly like very empty and very crowded and populated. This compared to Newtown Okuma, which is all just rebuilt after the disaster, very modern houses. We actually stopped at this little coffee house cafe at looked like a roadside station. That was surprisingly really crowded for like 3 p.m. on a weekday. We stopped and got coffee because my host/guide likes coffee, so I got an iced coffee. But here's another one of the big things when it stays in focus. This is Chansey Park in Namie town. Namie was another town that was evacuated post the disaster. This was the first of what is now 4 Chansey Parks in Fukushima, basically as a reason to try and bring tourists back to the area. This was, I think, opened in 2018. There's a bunch of Chansey themed playground rides. There's Chansey all over the place. There was like a Pokemon Go quote-unquote research center in the Michinoeki in the roadside station there. Here's the back of the Lickitung. There was also this cute Chansey vending machine with Chanseys all over it. I realized editing this video that I didn't have enough footage of the Chansey Park for like the things I wanted to say. I was too overwhelmed of just enjoying the Chansey. Really love the Chansey Park. This is now the second giant children's slide that I've been really impressed with here in Japan. Also, I got this Chansey plate. I haven't shown a lot of merch here, but this was the last plate that's only available at these Fukushima roadside stations, and I'm not sure it'll make it home, so I just wanted to make sure I got it on camera. Proof of your life, Chansey plate. This is also the Namie mascot they had in the center of the station. I just liked his little fish hat. Thought it was very cute. Speaking of fish, for dinner we got conveyor belt sushi. How that works is you kind of get this iPad, you order the fish you want, it goes back, and then boom, it comes out on a conveyor belt. It stops at your spot, so you don't have to worry about missing it. This was my favorite. It was albacore with garlic and shiso. And here we go, grabbing it, and ow!